Keep moving forward.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. And now, it's time!
And welcome everyone to the Circle Debate Championship on the Line, Ire and Cage My IQ podcast, ladies and gentlemen, here on the Bloodline Entertainment Network and also on Circle Debate Podcast, ladies and gentlemen, YouTube channel. Thank you all of you for joining in here. The host of TV's one obviously here with my other host. We Familia, the greatest family of all time, the greatest MMA podcasters of all time here. Let me go ahead and introduce, of course, half of the Modest Pain. Because he did bring that pain. If you follow him on IG, he brought some pain last week to some other guy with his jabs. Jabbing. There you go. And that is, of course, the five-time former Tapology World Champion, ladies and gentlemen. Alex Martinez, Championship on the Line. What is going on, my brother?
It's good to be back, baby.
That's right. I am glad that you're back.
Alex, your last name, are you descendant of the God of War? Mars.
That's right. Modest.
Yeah, all right. Yeah,
God of War, yeah.
I forgot about it, yeah.
Okay.
What is going on? Buster Graydon, what's going on? Streets, what is going on? Thank you very much. And of course, gotta save this man for last. This man has an IQ that Bakley could have, but he's a long far ahead from having the IQ this man right here has, because he brings that rage in that cage, ladies and gentlemen. That's why he's a phenomenal one himself. That's why he is the ire of all ires here, ladies and gentlemen. Iron Jim, ladies and gentlemen. Coach Rage, what is going on? Coach! There you go. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are here today because we got an upcoming fight. But go ahead,
I always wear a tank top because I always wear a tank top and I don't change for this, so I just wear my tank top because in the Circle of Debate logo, there's one guy with the tank top doing this, but he has hair, so maybe I'll get a wig.
That's Chris. Oh man, Chris, if you're watching this, director, I would have clipped this for him just for that. Oh man, but yes, ladies and gentlemen, today we're here to talk about this upcoming what happened this Saturday, and that is, of course, UFC 288, as we have Aljamain Sterling, of course, defending the World Bantamweight Championship versus Henry Cejudo, his return, and of course, the co-main event. I mean, a lot of changes happened in this card. A lot of changes. See, Oliveira and Darush was moved. Of course, that was posted to schedule. A lot of fights changed in this card, and then also, so we got the co-main event. We got Bill Muhammad versus Gilbert Burns. So that was announced like 48 hours ago. It was announced, and this is the rest of the card that we have here, so you guys can see.
Well, Mitchell's off.
So Mitchell's off. That's right. Yeah. So Mitchell's off. I guess. Yeah. Jesus
it was a back injury. He said.
Back injury, right? Okay. So he's the one fighting. Spinal.
Oh, spinal.
Spinal. How
Mike Tyson
would say. I guess he's fighting Diego Lopez, right? So that's who he's fighting. So he's out of the card. Lopes, there you go. Okay,
no, I'm kidding. It's Lopez.
Is it Lopez? Because it's with
it's with an S,
right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm like. It's with an S. I'm like, what is going on? Oh man, and this is taking place in New Jersey, ladies and gentlemen. That's right, at of course, at the Prudential Center in New Jersey. Oh wow! Better watch out with their Jersey folks are probably watching and listening to this, Coach.
That's okay.
So shout out to everybody on the chat. Before we begin, I wanted to go ahead and play a little clip for you guys before we begin with the prediction. So I want to go ahead and announce, of course, that coming to the Bloodline Entertainment Network, which I need to look for that damn video. So yeah, but let me see here, ladies and gentlemen. I will play it for you such in a few moments. But we do have a special debut coming up here on the Bloodline Entertainment Network, coming to you. So let me just go ahead and play that video as it's loading. So bear with me here for a moment. I thought I had it ready, but it's not ready as of yet. Bone damn computer. Hurry up. There you go. So here you go. Check this teaser trailer out. That's right. The director's cut is coming to you on the Bloodline Entertainment Network, debuting May 9th. Stay tuned. If you're not subscribed to the Bloodline Entertainment Network on YouTube and Twitch, subscribe now and stay tuned for that, as we will be having movie reviews now on the Bloodline Entertainment Network. So stay tuned for that. Your host, Graydon, will be hosting that. And stay tuned for that on Tuesday, May 9th, as he will be reviewing Guardians of the Galaxy. So make sure you tune for that. I'm looking forward to seeing them myself. All right, let's get into
I can review a movie called Love in the Villa, which my wives and I were watching right before this. It's fucking terrible.
Really? Really?
It's so bad. I was like, okay, well, you know, we have a little time before where I got to do our podcast, and so let's just throw on something light and silly. It was so bad, so bad. It's on Netflix. Avoid it at all costs.
Okay. Thank you for letting me know. Thank you for letting me know. I hope the missus doesn't try to come and see it, but yeah, I hope she doesn't persuade me, because I do not want to see it.
No, she won't even like it. No, it's like, oh, maybe, you know, but no, not even the girls.
All right, let's get into the action, gentlemen. Now let's get into the main card of the UFC 288. First fight of the night in a featherweight bout. We do have Kron Gracie versus Charles Jourdain. As you can see, the bet slips are there, courtesy of Bakley putting the odds for these two fighters in this card. So, man, like I said, there's a lot of things changes, but I'll take it to you, Alex. Break it down for us. Give us your take on who will take this fight right here in the featherweight division.
Yeah, it's exciting. I mean, it's the return of Kron Gracie, Ice Cream Kron. You know, people that don't know, is the son of the legend Rickson Gracie, and you know, he's back after a long layoff. I think his last fight was in 2019, I believe, and it was his first loss against Cub Swanson. So, you know, again, he's, you know, legend in the jiu-jitsu game. You know, obviously that's his bread and butter. Obviously, he's gonna go for the takedown. His stand-up is getting better too. I know he's done some training with the Diaz brothers, getting his stand-up, proving on that. But you know, his first fight back is, you know, it's not an easy fight. You know, Jourdain's been in the UFC for a long time, and he, you know, yeah, like he's had some good performances, he's had some bad performances, but you know, he's a veteran in the game. He's had a lot of fights in the UFC, so it's going to be a very, very tough fight for Kron. But you know, I think Kron's gonna end up getting the takedown, and I think once he gets on top, that's a person you do not want to be on. You do not want to be on the bottom with Kron's atop of you. So I'm gonna go with Kron. I think he gets submission. I'm gonna go second round.
Second round. Okay. Damn, he's been out that long, right?
Yeah.
Jesus. Wow. Okay. This is gonna be interesting. So I need to study more of Gracie. And I'm gonna call on the history of course, on Gracie. Coach, who do you got on this one?
I think so. Was this fight scheduled, or did somebody drop out and then they had to?
I think it was scheduled. Yeah,
this was scheduled, yeah. I think this is housekeeping. I think Jourdain has lost 2 in a row. Kron has been a disappointment for the UFC. He was brought into the UFC to bring the jiu-jitsu based fans and revitalize the Gracie name, and he's just been a disappointment. He hasn't performed. Uh, he hasn't performed in the fight in the cage, but he's a dismal failure as far as bringing eyes and ticket sales, which is really all the company cares about. So uh, somebody's got to lose, and the company doesn't care which one. Um, from what I've seen about the odds on this card, oddly or unusually, I agree with the odds makers uh, on all the fights. And that rarely ever happens. So I think Jourdain is a well-rounded fighter. I think Crone is not. I think Crone is a relic of the past, a jiu-jitsu based fighter with no stand-up and no. He's not well-rounded. His takedowns are not. He doesn't have the wrestling. He doesn't have the. He just can't get it done. I don't see it. I see Jourdain knocking him out.
Ooh.
Yeah, Jourdain's a finisher. If you look, he's got. I don't remember his exact stats, but he has a very high finish rate, and
Okay.
when he wins big, and when he loses big. So, but I see him. I just, if we think back to the last time Crone fought, it was Cub Swanson, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and Cub just picked him apart and pieced him up. And, Jourdain has a lot more power than Cub, and I don't think Crone has the wrestling to actually get the takedown to do the jiu-jitsu. So I think Charlie Jourdain is going to win this with a knockout. I think it's going to happen sometime in the second.
Oh yeah, and just to give you his stats, he's 8 wins by knockout, 4 by submission, and 4 first round finishes.
Yeah.
So,
But
yeah,
if Charles does lose, I think he could be cut.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh-oh.
That's what I was saying.
time.
Both these guys are on the chopping block, and I think Jourdain knows that, and I think Crone doesn't really care. I don't think he's really all excited
You think
about
he's?
MMA.
Do you think he's doing it for a paycheck?
I think he makes so much money on the circuit and
In the
on the
gym, maybe?
seminars and doing the pajama wrestling stuff. I think it was something that he thought, and then now he's got this contract with the UFC, and yeah, the company's not very excited about either of these guys, and somebody's got to lose, and whoever loses is getting cut. So yeah.
I wish
But
they could have put
that being said, I think Jourdain is more passionate about MMA than Crone, and I think he's going to fight harder to not get cut. I think, yeah, that's my opinion.
I'm just surprised they put this as a main card. I was, looking at the early prelims, I would expect them to put Braxton Smith and Parker Porter at least a heavyweight bout.
But Crone has a name though.
That's
but it
thing,
doesn't
right?
draw. It doesn't draw. It really doesn't. It just doesn't carry over. They want that, but it just doesn't. So, maybe it's in his contract. Who knows? But if you like, I saw this article where Crone was saying, oh, they shouldn't have rounds. They should have 25-minute rounds and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, man, we did that shit in the 90s and it sucked. It was boring to watch.
I just think because that's all he has going for himself is that he's a Gracie.
Yeah. And it worked back then because eventually, if you don't get knocked out, yeah, you're going to drag him down, slow it down, and grind it out. First of all, nobody gives a shit. We want to see exciting, explosive athletes fucking each other up. That's what we want to see. We don't want to see long. We don't want to watch a 25-minute round. Man, we don't even want to watch a 25-minute fight. We want to see it, you know? But yeah, most of the comments were about how is this even on the main card? Why isn't Drew Dober's on the main card? Why isn't there a heavyweight on the main card?
That's what I was saying, because I'm
like,
looking at it like, why did it put a heavyweight? It makes no fucking sense, because now you have two featherweights. But I get Alex's point because that's a name. But
like it or not, like he's 6-1 or 5-1, 5-1. But
5-1.
all the five wins are by finish. They're by submissions.
Yeah.
So I think they're trying to bank on him getting a submission win.
Yeah, and it is the family name, and it is a legacy, and it could, maybe because he's training with the Diaz brothers, maybe they're thinking maybe they'll get some of that fan base. Who knows?
That's interesting.
And also too, like casuals, they know what Gracie is. So as soon as they see a Gracie name, they're gonna be like, "Oh, Gracie's fighting." They don't have to know anything about him, but the fact that he's just a Gracie, they'll tune in.
Yeah, and it's funny, like the casual lore around the Gracie name. I was watching like some YouTube videos, and people were like, "Yeah, like this skinny 150-pound guy fought like 20 guys in one night and beat." It's like, oh, no.
Totally wrong.
But it's funny because it's like, okay.
Send us that link in the chat. I want to check it out. I really want to check that out. I am curious to see that.
There was what's his name? Curran Jacobs. Is a catch wrestler, and he made a documentary on the history of catch wrestling. And there was a clip from that where a guy was like, flipping burgers or whatever, and they're like, "Hey, you ever heard of catch wrestling?" "No." "Have you ever heard of Gracie Jiu-Jitsu?" "Yeah, bro." Blah, 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 blah. Okay.
Oh.
and it's expensive to call it a documentary, and I resent that I actually paid money to see the thing. 90% of the people that were interviewed, I'm actually friends with, and that's cool, man. Eric Paulson was in it. Josh Barnett was in it. Cool. Awesome. My bros. No problem. But don't fucking call it a documentary, and don't make me pay fucking $5 to watch this shit. Throw it up on YouTube, because that's the quality of it. And if you're doing it to promote the history of catch and to promote catch wrestling, holy shit, could I go further off on a tangent? We got something to talk about, and it's not catch wrestling. What's the next fight?
I got you.
See, if the director were here, he'd keep me in line.
He would, but hey, it's free for all, man. You know me. I'm cool. But yes, the second fight of the night, we do got another featherweight bout here, which it was scheduled to be Bryce Mitchell and Jonathan Pierce, but unfortunately, both of these fighters, of course, were withdrawn from one. The spinal, one of them had a spinal, the other one was undisclosed, and now we got these two replacements here, which in the featherweight division we got Mosvar Elbov and Diego Lopes or Lopez. I don't know if it's Lopez with a Z, but I didn't know you have an S. Lopes, like Lopes. I'm not quite sure, but. And they're unfortunately, looking at the odds, I don't know why Bakley didn't put the odds on this one, but the odds is minus 226 Mozart, and Diego is plus 220. So that's what we got on this one. But man, Alex, who do you got on this featherweight bout?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that much about Lopes. I know he's 20-5 and he's got 11 submissions, so that tells you he has a good ground game. But Movsar, he's undefeated. He's undefeated. He's got some really good names. Dan Ige.
Oh, that's right. Egan.
You know, who's really tough. You got to win over him, and man, it's just really tough because you got like a grappler, but man. I'm gonna go. Man, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Lopes catches him. I mean, you could catch him with a submission coming in. You know, he has a really good ground game, but I don't see that. I see Mosar gets. I'm gonna go decision on this one. I think Mosar beats him. Because I think it's only like a week notice or like 2 week notice.
I think it was like a 2 week notice. What I'm looking on the report said it was like 2 week notice.
So Mosar had like 14-day notice, and Lopez had like 5 or 7 days notice. Like it's super short notice for both these guys. However, Mavzar, I don't. I'm just gonna call the Russian does cut more weight, so the short notice is going to impact him. But you know, I don't know. Short notice sucks.
Yeah.
Unless you guys eat right, train right, and sleep right.
That's right. Let them know, Coach. The floor is yours. Take it away.
So I already gave all my predictions because I said I agree with the odds makers, unless the odds have changed since I last looked at them. But yeah, I think the Russian's going to take it. When we look at their fight styles, Movzar, I'm sorry, I if I'm totally butchering his name. He is well-rounded. He's got all the aspects of the game. His strength and conditioning is off the charts. He does everything really well, but he doesn't do anything spectacular. He's not great at any one thing, but he's really strong. He's really durable. He's really tough. And he's just very well-rounded. Diego, on the other hand, is not well-rounded. Yeah, he's a submission specialist, but the higher up the food chain you go, the worse those guys tend to do. And what's going to happen is Diego's going to get hurt. He's going to get his face smashed in. Is it going to be in this fight? Is it going to be in the next fight? Is it going to be in the fight after that? I don't know. But when you start pulling guard inside the octagon, you get hurt. Sorry, guys. And Diego is a guard puller. And so because he's a guard puller, I have nothing but disdain for him. And I am morally obligated to pick the Russian in this fight. So how's it going to end? Let's go and end it by ground and pound. Round 3.
Not even a decision. I was just round 3.
Round 3, ground and pound.
Oh man, just very quick. Shout out to the chat. TK, what's going on, my brother? TK and Nick, of course, Mr. Universal Wrestling Podcast, and my tribal chief, Devin Clark's Wrestling Podcast. Of course, say what's up to you, Graded and Streets again. I go Mosvar decision. I'm not familiar with Diego at all. Mosvar, I am. He's undefeated, very round one, fighter. So I mean, I can't add too much when you guys already digressed them, and so.
But it would be cool to see Lopes win, though.
It would be, especially if you read his tattoo.
What does it say there? Like, it's a dream,
believe, and make it happen.
Nice. And he made it happen. He's fighting UFC, so
that's right.
Well, that's right. Yeah, and taking this short day notice, right? Like 5-6 day notice. Wow. Hey,
and he does have a very good record. He does have a very good record.
25, not bad. That's good.
Well, with 11 submissions, and half of those being in the first round, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I wonder how old is he, by the way? I'm curious because I know
he's like
most artists 29. He looks like 15, right? He looks like he's like 22, 23. I know most of our 20 is like about to be 30.
He's 28.
He's okay. Damn, he looks young
and he's 5'11" too. Jeez.
Oh,
what's at 145? So we got a tall, skinny guy. What's the Russian?
The Russian, his height, he's 29.
Yeah.
He is 5'8".
Oh wow.
The
big guy.
Yeah.
That's a way difference.
So much stronger. Jesus,
I wanted to see what's the reach advantage. So what? Okay, so they're even out 72.5 inch,
Oh,
72 and a
that's
half.
interesting. And
Both
that
of
always
them,
it's always crazy to me, right? It's like the
right?
taller guy doesn't have the longer reach, but the reach, a lot of the reach is the rib cage.
Ah, so there you go.
Yeah.
There
Like
you go.
very I have like normal size arms, but my rib cage is broad, so my reach is longer than average. Yeah.
Mm.
But where this guy, homeboy Lopez, uh, he's frail. He's a skinny little dude with small bones. Um,
I
which is
mean,
another reason we want to see him win, but he's not gonna. So
that's right. That's right. Oh, jeez. And now we got the third card, the fight of the night, the pay-per-view card. We have the women's strawweight, Jessica Andrade, of course, versus Xiaonan Yang, of course, in the women's strawweight division. And Andrade is minus 195 and Yang plus 155. That is interesting. Okay, but okay, very, very interesting. But I'll take it to you, Alex. Who do you got on this fight?
Ah, man, that's a tough one. Jessica's last fight was against Blanchfield, and man, she did not look good in that fight.
No.
She got dominated. To be honest,
Major.
she didn't look good.
did she lose?
Yeah,
She
she
lost.
lost.
Yeah, she got submitted.
She got submitted.
Oh, right. And it was all like sloppy and stuff.
Mhm. It was a sloppy submission.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Well, at one
but-
point, like Blanchfield, I mean, don't get me wrong, like she has great ground game, but her stand up isn't, it's okay. And man, and Andrade is more of the stand up, and man, she was landing strikes on Andrade, and Andrade couldn't land anything on her. So
yeah, that was.
it's a tough one because then Jan, she beat Mackenzie Dern, but she lost to Esparza, lost to Marino Rodriguez. But before that, she was beating tough girls, Claudia, Angela Hill. But yeah, it's a tough one. I mean, at this point, man, it's I hate to say this because Andrade's, former world champion, but I think she's at that point where she's kind of like a gatekeeper now, and just staying there. Like she won't win a title, they won't put her in a title picture, but like if you get a win over her, you're ready for a title. But it's a tough one. I like Andrade. I like her style. And I like Jan too, but man, I'm gonna go with Jan on this one. I think she gets it done. I'm gonna go with decision on this one.
I'm gonna have to go with Jan. I like Jan's last performance. Andrade last performance really disappointed me. I think.
And I'm interested to see how she's gonna come back from that one too.
Like I said, I hope she does, but I feel why not Jan? I mean, I'm looking at the rankings too. I mean, I know you mentioned about you beat Andrade, you get a title shot. I'm like, fuck, that's kind of fucked up. But
no, but like it's just because if you get a win over her, it looks good in your record,
right?
Because you got a former world champion in your record, so it looks good on that on paper. Like, oh yeah, I beat a former world champion, so she get a title shot. So
yeah. I mean, she's at 4th right now in the rankings, and Jan is at 6. So this is gonna be good for Jan. I mean, so I'm gonna go with Jan on this one too. Decision. I'm gonna go with that. All right, Coach. Who do you got on this one? Uh-oh. Here comes the coach.
Yeah.
Here we go. All right, let's go. I want to hear this. I'm curious.
Well, initially I was thinking that Andrade gets it done. But then after I heard you guys talking, I started thinking about what you guys were saying and how ineffective she was in her last fight. So is that where she's at now? And she's on the wrong side of 30, and she's had a long career 31. And has had a rough time getting here. So is her last fight, is that indicative of what we're going to see? Is that who shows up? And if the same girl from the last fight shows up, then then Jan should take it.
Mm-hmm.
However, I am not impressed with Jan, like at all.
Okay.
She eked out a win over Mackenzie Dern, but it was a decision win, and all that really means is that she kept it standing. And Mackenzie, incredible submission artist, can't wrestle. So, and it's really like in this day and age, we have jujitsu people that can't wrestle, that can't initiate a legitimate takedown, that won't step outside their little circle of friends in their little cult and actually learn real wrestling instead of goofy ass jujitsu wrestling. And I hope I don't piss anyone off too much. I don't know who's
Piss him off. Piss him off.
But
right though.
Pajama wrestling single leg is the wrong way to do a single leg. There's one right way to do a single leg. And it's from wrestling. It's from collegiate Olympic wrestling. So anyway, Jan she just doesn't impress me. I just don't see her being she's tall, she's pretty strong. She's not as strong as Jessica. I'm not as strong as Jessica. I mean, let's give shit. Yeah, I guess okay. I'm gonna swing back. I'm gonna say Andrade, decision win.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, let's play safe. Okay. I mean, I'll be definitely watching this fight for sure. I want to see it. I'll be in the chat. Okay, you're right again, Coach. You're right again.
I don't think this is going to be I don't think this is going to be a very interesting fight. I don't think either one of these ladies is all that phenomenal on the ground. I don't think Jan is strong enough to get Jessica on the ground. I don't think Jessica's really going to try to take it to the ground. And I think if Jessica does take it to the ground, it doesn't stay there. So I think it's going to be a sloppy kickboxing match. But when, Jessica's got some power. So,
yeah. All right. Let's see. Now it's time for the co-main event. And of course, this is a welterweight bout here that we have. And Bilal Muhammad, of course, this was a match out of nowhere because it was supposed to be Charles Oliveira versus Darush, but unfortunately Oliveira, undisclosed injury, had to pull out. So they moved that fight to UFC 289. And now we have this fight here happening last minute. And we got Bilal Muhammad versus Gilbert Burns in the welterweight co-main event for this UFC 288. Bilal Muhammad's plus 105, Gilbert Burns 130. That's where I'm like, what? Okay.
And
what? All right.
For what it's worth, I'm happy that they did that. I'm happy that they bumped and they pushed both fighters, both Beneil and Charles, to the next card rather than making Charles fight somebody else.
Yeah.
Because that fight, first of all, if you're preparing to fight either Dariush or Charlie O's, you got to prepare just for that. And these two guys are, you got Burns and Muhammad are very different than either Beneil or Charlie. So anyway, for what that's worth, I'm sorry about talking over you guys, but I'm happy that the company decided to do that and just replace the fight altogether with another fight that needed to happen.
Yeah. And to be honest with you, I'm actually kind of shocked that, because remember, after Burns defeated Masvidal, he was supposed to be the backup for the Leon and Covington. And for him to take this fight, that's what really shook me. Like, oh, well, okay. So, hey, I commend that man. And he just fought what the hell, like, not even a month ago. He just fought like less than that. This man just fought on April 8th. We're on May 3rd. I got to give this man credit. What credit's due.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Muhammad fought in October. And this is going to be this is why I'm interested in this co-main event. The fact is that you have someone who's just fought not even almost a month ago compared to this guy who's fought in October. We're already in May. I mean, I know he's been sitting on the sideline, been waiting too, Bill Muhammad. But I'll go right ahead. I mean, I wondered if they make this a 5-round. I hope they did because I so far I see it's 3. Make this a 5-round co-main event because I am really intrigued at how this is going to end up. Because and looking at the rankings too. So let's look at the welterweight rankings, right? So we have Muhammad at 4, Burns at 5. So 4 and 5 are fighting right now. Of course, they're not gonna book Chimaev. He's up from the number fucking 3. So he's sitting in the sidelines mainly right now. So now this is gonna be the one. I guess you could say determined to fight Chimaev. I have no idea how they're gonna do this. Dana White needs to figure this shit out. That welterweight division has been closed. You can't go anywhere. It's stuck. But and the odds too is what really surprises me.
Close.
Hey, but you know what? It surprises me, but I'm kind of happy with these odds, to be honest. But I'm going to take Burns to shock the world, and I take him by decision because Burns has been hungry. He's been waiting for this. He's been asking for this title forever in this division. This man could do it, and he's going to shock the world by defeating Bill Muhammad. And I say, if it's 3 rounds, I'll take it as a decision. But I hope Dana White changes his mind. You know what? Let's make it a 5-round. All right, then I'll go 5 rounds decision. I hope he does. But this is why I'm excited for that reason. Even though you mentioned, Coach, okay, yeah, but no, I am excited. I am excited because of that reason. You had one man who hasn't fought, it has fought in October, and the other man that has just fought a month ago. So this is why I'm surprised that I commend Burns for taking this fight. But mind you, Muhammad, the last fight he had, performance of the night, this man is well-rounded. So this is going to be a test for Gilbert, and I'm really that's why I'm really excited for this one. But I got Gilbert on this one.
Who had the performance of the night?
Bill Muhammad, yes. So the last one that he fought in October. And the last one
fight? What fight was that?
Sean Brady, UFC 280. Yes, he won
Sean
TKO. TKO. And that was in the second round. Knocked him out. This is why, this is going to be a test for Gilbert for sure. What is going on, Broadcast? Tom, good evening, of course. Shout out to Australia, baby. We love you, baby. That's right. But yes, Alex, take it away.
Yeah, man, I know a lot of people pissed at me, but I am not a big fan of Muhammad's fighting style. I'm not. He does enough to get the win. He gets enough to get the decision win.
And strangely enough, you're not alone.
Yeah, people are gonna be pissed going this.
The fuck?
It's people don't like it. It's boring. It's
right.
And the fans don't like it. So he complains about not getting shots and not getting recognition, not getting the respect. Bro, man, it's entertainment first and foremost. All right, sorry, Alex.
No, thank you, man. But yeah, like I said, Muhammad is, kind of a slow starter, and Burns isn't. Burns is more explosive. Gets right in your face, starts to fight. Just based on that, I just think Burns has improved so much. Muhammad too, but I think Burns has improved a lot. He's fought a little bit more intelligent, more smart game planning. Takes his time, knows what he has to do. He knows how to do damage very well. So that's why I'm going to go Burns on this one. I think Burns gets it done. It's funny that you say that, it's shocking if Burns wins, but I think it's shocking if Muhammad wins, because I think Burns is just a little bit more better than him overall, which if it's ground or if it's stand up. That's why, I'm going to go Burns on this one. I'm going to say decision win on it.
The only reason why I said that because this man took a fight less than a month. That's where I'm just really shocked.
Oh yeah,
that's where I'm saying it shocked me.
Yeah.
But I think correct me if I'm wrong. The other person that I know have done that has been Cowboy Donald Cerrone
and Chimaev.
There you go. That's what I thought I was missing at. But yeah, Count Cerrone, he fucking took one just last minute, and I believe he won both of those fights. He actually won both of them.
Yeah, he did.
He won fucking both of them. Jesus, that's what I'm like. Okay, I like that. All right, yeah. So if Gilbert can bust that too, man, I hands down to him, man. Dana White, if you're watching this, listen to give this man a title already, man. Give him a title shot. Jesus Christ. Oh,
I think he wants that. I think he's fully for that. I think he'd rather have Burns fight for the title than Muhammad.
Yeah, totally. I honestly, I agree. The only reason why I wanted that just to get him out of the way for Edwards. I would say if let's say Edwards defeat coming to, we don't even know yet. That's a long way down from now, but just to give Muhammad his title. Okay, here your title shot. Move on. He's not doing anything.
I cannot remember Muhammad knocking out Brady. I can't picture it. It's like Muhammad's fighting style is so boring that's all that I can remember, and I can't believe that he's ever knocked anybody out. But obviously he knocked out Sean Brady, and Sean Brady is a beast. So that obviously was a phenomenal performance and a phenomenal fight. And it was a standing TKO. I just don't remember it. It's crazy. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
I think this fight's going to be boring as fuck, though. I really
do. You hurting me, man. Why?
Well, Burns looked like shit when he fought Masvidal.
Well, we know why. I mean, that we talked about this in the last recap. We know why. I mean, that's
he was carrying him. They're friends. I don't know, man. Burns looked phenomenal when he Magny.
Yeah.
It's like, what? And Magny, right? Like Magny's a gamer.
He's tough. He's veteran for sure.
Yeah.
Tough man.
He's getting up there in age, but
Yeah,
I agree with the odds here. I think Gilbert Burns wins. I hope. I want to see something dramatic. I want to see something exciting. I want to see, some big power shots and then a takedown and then a submission. I'd like to see that. I just don't think it happens. I think it's snooze fest and split decision win, Burns. And see, I know, like it like if the fighters were listening to me, they'd be all butthurt and pissed and but at the same time, I wish they would fucking listen to me, right? Because the first thing, you got to win the fight. Yeah, you can't get hurt. You can't get knocked out. But man, especially in this weight class, you have got to separate yourself. You got to be interesting. You got to be exciting. And sometimes Burns has done that, but not every time. And certainly not the last time. And Muhammad, his reputation, even though it's somewhat apparently unwarranted, as we have the knockout here, Muhammad's reputation is that he's boring. Here we go.
Come on, damn thing of a play. Why did it froze? Jesus. Let's see this knockout.
Offering. There we go. That's some sloppy shit, though, huh?
Right. Yeah. I was just just really wild. Yeah.
That was it.
And it was an early stoppage.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was an early stoppage. That was it. Like, okay.
And also too, like it or not, like if Leon did fight Muhammad, I hope Chris is watching this because we had an argument about this. But like I said, Leon versus Muhammad it's not going to sell. And the whole point, UFC does care about pay-per-views and selling.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Chris, but that's how it is.
Yeah, I'm going to let him see this.
And
sure.
Man, so much of it. Listen, the promoter's job and the promotion's job is to promote. 100%. Absolutely. I agree with you. But damn it, you got to give them something to promote. And that falls on the athlete. That falls on the fighter. If you're not good on the mic, get better.
Which
If you're
Muhammad
not,
is,
no, he's not good anywhere, man. Yeah, that's not true.
I hope
He's a
watching
good guy. He's a phenomenal teammate,
this.
and he's a strong competitor. But he's not charismatic. He's not interesting.
Yeah.
He's not exciting. He's not champion material.
He's not
right?
entertaining.
And then he complains that he's not well received. Well, man, it's your job to be well received. It's your job to figure out what's not working and change it. Dare I cite Kobe Covington? He was winning and invisible. Nobody gave a shit.
Yeah.
So then he went and talked to, Uncle Chill and figured out a gimmick.
Yeah.
And it worked.
It worked.
You
Yeah.
love him or you hate him.
That's
fine.
True.
Most people hate him,
I
but
love Chill.
they still buy to see him lose. But he wins. So they buy again, right? Anyway, it's show business. First and foremost, it's entertainment. But you got to be able to fight. And you got to be exciting. And you got to make it interesting. And your work in the cage has to be interesting. Your work on the mic has to be interesting. And your media in between the fights has to be interesting.
Amen. Preach it, brother. Amen. Because that is the truth. It's just no lie to it. It's the damn truth. I mean, can we say that? I mean, is that a difference, sir? We say from entertainment into sports. Let's say from MMA and pro wrestling. Is there a difference? The question is, are they the same? That's the question.
They're not the same. They're not the same. But there's a great deal of overlap, right? So I don't know a lot about professional wrestling, but I know a lot more than I ever thought I would because one of my top fighters took a hard right turn and jumped right into pro wrestling. With wrestling, you got to put asses in the seat. People have to want to watch you, right?
Yeah.
So you got to cut promos. You got to be exciting. You got to be interesting. You got to have the look. You got to have the sound. Well, absolutely the same can be said for fighting. Well, in fighting, you actually have to have the skill. You got to fight. You got to win. Well, there's a lot of skill in professional wrestling too. And you got to be able to perform. You got to be able to sell, and you got to be able to do your own stunts. You got to make it look right. So there's a lot of carryover. There's a lot of crossover. The thing is, man, people have got to want to see what you're doing. And if a fighter isn't an exciting fighter, it doesn't matter how much he wins. John Fitch comes to mind. John Fitch got released from his contract on a winning streak because he was boring as fuck to watch.
Jesus.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't care if you win on points. Nobody wants to see that shit.
No, you don't want to see
We
entertainment.
want to see highlights. We want to see excitement. We want to see
shit talking. We want to see just trash talking.
Right?
All of that. All the above is we want to see. So,
and I don't want any purist to be complaining about how it degrades martial arts and blah blah. Man, before the UFC, a skilled fighter was a fucking bouncer. That was the only career path. That was the only option that you fucking had. Kickboxing. You didn't make money kickboxing. Today, you don't make money kickboxing. If you're a stand-up fighter and you're not a boxer, then you're semi-pro, period. Because you still have to work full-time to survive, and you're not making enough money doing your professional sport. Well, I'm a professional. I get paid to do it. Yeah, but you don't get paid enough to call yourself a professional. You're semi-pro. Sorry. I love kickboxing. I love Muay Thai. It's fucking awesome. I just wish it paid better. Well, it doesn't. Okay, it doesn't. So right now, MMA is what's exciting. It's what's hot. It's the fastest growing sport on the planet. It's the most successful combat sport in the past quarter century. So fucking enjoy the ride. Don't fucking bitch. Don't complain. Do your fucking work. Be spectacular and make some money and get out with your brain intact. That's the game.
Clip this, Ivan.
I am gonna clip this. I am gonna clip this, but I have to play this for him. Jesus.
That's what I'm talking about. That's why he's the MVP. That's why he's the GOAT. The GOAT.
That's why he's the GOAT, ladies and gentlemen. That's why Coach Rage is a fucking GOAT. He's the MVP. He brought it down tonight for all of you guys that are listening and watching it. Oh man, I love it. Oh man, I've been dying to hear someone say that.
Right?
Oh my god.
And shit, since I've got the platform, ire, engage your rage. My system of fighting, my brand, the ire division, my team. We have the one bell philosophy. One bell rings, the fight's over before you hear the second bell. You go and get it done. It doesn't always happen that way, but we drive it that way.
Yeah.
We work that way. Because when you fight that way, you're going to have fans. You're going to get results. And you're going to be exciting as hell to watch. So that's what we preach. That's what we do. So some people would say, oh, that's reckless. I disagree. Every second that you are in the cage of the ring is a second where something can go horribly wrong. So the faster you get it done, the better it is all around. The more exciting it is, the better your income is, because per minute you're making more money.
Yeah.
You don't get paid overtime for extra rounds. You're just incurring extra risk being in there longer. So one bell, ire, baby.
That's right. Oh man, hell yeah. Ah, get my boy Blue. Yes, my boy. Yeah. All right, let's get into main event time, baby. Here we go. We got the main event for the UFC 288, as we have the bantamweight division. It's the UFC Bantamweight Championship. Aljamain Sterling defending the Bantamweight Championship versus Henry Cejudo. The return of Henry Cejudo.
They did a really good Photoshop on these boys over here.
Oh, you know what? On Cejudo, no, I have a picture of him actually. Here is his like what?
Okay.
12-week evolution, and that's what he like. He was that size, and then look at him now. I was like, 12 fucking weeks for him to get in that shape. I gotta give that man credit. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Aljamain though, looking all fucking shiny and Photoshop.
I was looking for a picture, his recent picture of him, and I can't find a recent picture of him. But man, it just Jesus. I love Aljamain.
Are we going to talk about Cejudo being out of the USADA pool and knowing that he was going to compete again and knowing that he's getting older and taking full advantage of? Yeah. I guess I already talked about it, huh?
Yeah. I want to say that's something for you to talk for last because, I'm going to give you that floor for sure. But, man, Cejudo's 36. Aljamain is 33. Right,
33.
Yeah,
yeah.
He's 33. Jeez. I seen all the promos, everything else is like that Cejudo. I'm gonna come back and my belt. I don't know, man. This is a tough fight. It is crazy that the fact that these two are technically. Well, now the change. I got to change it because as of today, that odds has changed. The betting odds now is Sterling at 105, minus 105, and Cejudo at minus 115. So this is really interesting. This is going to be tough for me. I like Cejudo, but I don't know. Sterling, on the other hand, he's been impressing me. I know that his last fight wasn't. I could say wasn't the best.
Against who?
Dillashaw, yeah. I mean, second round TKO. So it was okay.
He fought Dillashaw.
Yeah, but
was that with Dillashaw?
But it's Dillashaw. But it's fucking Dillashaw. He's out of his prime.
Is that when TJ had his shoulder separated?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You're right. There you go.
I was gonna say. I mean,
that's what I forgot.
He was injured.
He was injured. I totally forgot about. Yes, you're right. I super forgot.
That fight, man, freaking frustrated me because you had a
I
guy
was
that was hurt.
pissed.
And Sterling, it fucking took forever to finish it. Jeez, man.
He
Like,
did it
just
on
finish the
purpose.
dang fight already.
Hey,
You got a guy
coach,
that has one fucking arm. Finish it. And it took forever, man.
But coach, look what coach said earlier.
And you got an undersized, tiny little fucking chihuahua with like a gimp paw, like you said, man.
Oh man, I know people are rooting for Cejudo. You know what it's gonna be? I don't know if Aljamain Sterling has a lucky rabbit because he's been lucky on his last fucking fight, even in one prior. But see, Peter Yan, the one he fought Peter Yan, the rematch. Peter Yan didn't look like he really wanted that fight. Like I mean, if we go back and look at it, Yan didn't really want that fight. Compared, like he wasn't really hungry for it. I know there was kind of like a miscommunication or no communication that goes from Peter Yan's side compared to the Sterling's side. But shit, man, this is gonna be tough. And I'm gonna get shitted on this, but it is what it is. I take Sterling's decision. I think I have to play it safe. I take Sterling. I think he's gonna, he's the top. Because it's be considered undisputed? No, right? Because Cejudo left. He vacated the belt, right?
Yeah, vacated.
So it'd be undisputed, right? So yeah. I give it a Sterling. I think Sterling got that lucky rabbit. I don't know where the hell you got it, son, but you're getting lucky in these fights. So good for you. You might get lucky in this one. And I got you for decision. There's really not much to take. I mean, I hate to say, but coach is right. This fight is not. Oh my God, it's spectacular. But I got Sterling on this one. I would love to get Cejudo, but I have to go split analytically and looking at it from here, not from here. I think Sterling's going to take this one. That plays safe decision. I don't know, Alex. How do you feel? Do you feel different? Do you feel the same?
Listen, I mean, Cejudo. I mean, let's be honest. Cejudo is the reason why the flyweight division exists. He saved the division.
That's very true.
He beat Demetrius again, one of the greatest fighters of all time. Beat him. Took the belt. Got some really impressive wins. Every fight he had after Johnson, he improved every single fight, which is stand up, his wrestling. Stand up got way better, increased way better. I mean, he knocked out Dillashaw in under a minute. TKO Dominic Cruz, who it's not an easy opponent to finish. Like every fight he was getting better and better and better. And, when he retired, it was like, man, why, man? Like, you're doing freaking so well. Like, you're, like on the verge to being one of the greatest the greatest fighter of all time. And then, and with Sterling, he's one of those guys, like you said, very lucky on some of the wins he's had. His title run hasn't been very, a lot of performance hasn't been dominating at all. But I don't know. I like Cejudo. I think, like I said, he's getting better and better. But like I said, it's a long layoff for him to come back. But like I said, I think overall, I think he's much better than Sterling. Either it's stand up or the ground. Again, his wrestling is top tier, top notch. And if he wants to take it on the ground, he can take it to the ground. And I think his stand up is better than Sterling. If it goes stand up, I think Cejudo could take him out on that too. So I'm gonna go Cejudo on this one. Again, I think he's gonna be in the list with John Jones, GSP, who made the return, and this could be his third title. So I'm gonna go Cejudo on this one. I think he finishes him in the third round. I'm gonna go TK on this one.
And he's gonna retire again after that. I got my third belt. I'm out.
But here's the thing, though. Like, I like Cejudo, but I just don't think he ever get the credit you deserve. I mean, especially from Dana White. Like, I mean, Dana White's never liked him. I don't know why, but he just never, never really. The only reason why he retired, one of the reasons is because, I don't think it was the money issue, right? I think it was one of the things that he.
But yeah, of what I was reading is with money issues. I don't think he wanted to be Dana White's guy. No, I think that's probably what it is.
So we'll see. I mean, I think with this win, I know he wants to fight Volkanovski, but I know he wants to fight Sean O'Malley too. I think those are two on the list, and I think those would make really exciting fights. But this is the first one he has to get across the list, and I think he gets it done. I think Soto gets a third title.
Okay. I mean, and looking at the reach advantage, Cejudo 64-inch, Sterling 71. Leg reach 737, Cejudo 39 is Sterling. The height advantage, of course, Sterling has 5'7" and Cejudo is 5'4". I mean, but height doesn't matter in the world of octagon. Remember that, ladies and gentlemen, it does never matter at all, even in the world of boxing. But yeah, the floor is yours. Come on, Coach, give it to us. Give it to us.
Man, I was all over the place doing research on this one. And if you look, I mean, these odds and even the new odds, it's a coin toss, right? Because
Yeah.
All right. Well, you look at who Aljo has beaten, and yeah, there's some impressive people on there, right? Cejudo, Cejudo beat the GOAT, but he also lost to the GOAT, but then he beat the GOAT. But his list of names is far less impressive. However, gold medalist in one of the most, yeah, right? So wrestling gold medalist in the Olympics. Oh, goddamn. So, all right. Well, then, yeah, Aldo, he's got the reach advantage, but he's got a funky style. They call him the Funk Master, right?
They call him the Funk Master for that reason.
Okay. So now it's like, okay, well, how can Aldo win? Keeping it, or Aljo, I'm sorry, not Aldo. Sorry. Keeping it long, keeping it funky. Now, one of the things that Aljo usually does is hop on people's back and take the backpack and strangle. You're not going to do that to Cejudo. You're not. You're not getting his back. If you do get his back, you're not getting his neck, and you're not staying on his back. It's just not going to happen. I'm sorry. Homeboy, Cejudo is way too explosive, way too powerful, and just too damn good. It doesn't take a whole lot of learning and training for a high level wrestler to become a high level grappler. But it does take a whole lot of training for a high level jiu-jitsu person to become a high level grappler. Because wrestling is fucking hard.
Yeah.
And if you don't start when you're young, you're going to suck. So we got a lot of half-ass sucky wrestlers in MMA, but Cejudo is one of the best wrestlers on the planet. Still is.
Yeah.
So his grappling is better than Aljo's.
I agree with that.
His power is better than Aljo's. His forward pressure is better than Aljo's. Okay, so how does Cejudo? Cejudo controls when Cejudo wants a takedown, he gets a takedown. Aljo can't do that. Aljo doesn't have that option. He can't just go, I want to take down, I'm going to take you down. Cejudo says, I want to take down, and I don't want you to take me down. And that's just how that's going to be. Okay, well, then what about the striking? Well, Aljo has the reach advantage, and he's got the funky style. So if he can keep it long, keep it outside, all right, cool. Has Aljo ever had a legit knockout? A legit standing, boom, one and done? No. Okay, fuck. So that's not looking very likely.
No, it doesn't. But
it's not looking very likely. So I also never really liked Cejudo because he did the King of Cringe and Triple C and all that shit. But then I realized that I was the fucking mark. Just like with Colby Covington, right? If you don't like Colby Covington, you're a fucking mark.
Why? Why?
Because it's an act that they're putting on to make you love him or hate him. And if you love him or hate him, you're a fucking mark.
I love him, but I just don't like him for other
That's how that works, right?
Yeah. But there's other reasons I don't like him. But this is not a politics.
So once I realized that Henry was playing me, and I was like, okay, you got me. All right, I like you. And then I started actually listening to him as a fighter, and then I really started respecting him. Like, all right, yes, his skill level, his pressure, his power, his tenacity, the things that he's accomplished that no one else that is currently competing has accomplished. Okay, we got to give it to him. So uh, I think Cejudo wins. I think Cejudo's going to be champ. I think Cejudo wins in a dominant fashion. Does he get the knockout? He certainly doesn't get a submission. Does he get the knockout? I don't think so. I think it's going to be a majority decision. I think he's going to win 4 out of 5 rounds. I think he's going to get the belt. I think after that he's going to fight Sean O'Malley.
Majority decision. That you mean one judge is going to have it a draw?
Oh, unanimous decision. Thank you.
Unanimous.
Yeah. No. Yes.
I was like, wait, what?
What? Then he fights Sugar Shane and embarrasses him.
Yeah.
Then he gets his ass beat by Volk.
Ooh, wow.
That's how I see it going. Because Volkanovski, Cejudo is pushing for that fight, and that's the course that he's drafting out, and Dana's all but said yes to all of it. But Volkanovski is really becoming something else. Like, it's going to be spectacular to see Volkanovski and Rodriguez. That's going to be awesome to see. But Volkanovski has been training with Craig Jones.
Yeah,
and
BJJ. Yep.
What the? Like, he's just become a totally different beast. And like, the only reason he lost to Islam Makhachev was because he started slow and he didn't have the belief that he belonged there. And it took him a while to figure out that he could beat this guy.
Yeah.
That's true.
So Volk, does he take the rematch with Islam, or does he take this easy money fight against the small, yappy, dangerous dude? Go ahead.
If let's say Cejudo does beat Sterling, right, and he beats Sean O'Malley, and he beats Volk, right, that make him a 3-division world champion.
Then holy fucking shit, I just shut my fucking mouth.
Does that make him the greatest? Would you put him as the greatest of all time if he's able to do that?
Yeah. How do you?
And Olympic gold medalist on top of that.
Come on now, right? So Olympic gold medalist,
3-division,
125 champ, 135 champ, 145 champ, right?
Yeah.
Goddamn. And look who he has to beat to get there, right? Now we got to give him more respect than we already give him, and this is me talking, right? Because he beat DJ, he beat Demetrius Johnson to have the flyweight strap. That in and of itself puts him in this conversation of the GOAT potential. Okay, he's an American Olympic gold medalist. God damn. And he's up in 135. And was he the 135 champ yet? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And then he was 135 champ, and then he walked away, and now he's coming back, right? Okay.
Yes.
Just want to make sure I have it right in my head. Yeah. So if he does that, if he beats Volkanovski and has the 35 the strap and the 45 strap, yeah, he's in the conversation of one of the greatest of all times.
Yeah, I have to agree.
Yeah,
I have to agree with that. It's the truth. I mean, I think that's put him GOAT status. I'll tell you that.
I just don't think he can beat Volk. But hey,
that's a bold statement too.
A lot of people think he could beat Johnson, but he did it.
He did it,
and he did it with a bad foot too. He was injured.
Yep.
Speaking of Johnson, he's fighting Friday too, which potentially could be his last fight. I think this is his last.
Really?
I really just, I'm such a snob. Like I don't care about Bellator. I don't care about PFL. I don't care about ONE. I want there to be competition. I want there to be free market. And then you go and you watch, and it's just Ugh.
I also say, Rage, do you like?
Especially PFL.
I want to get your opinion on this. Do you think the concept that one is doing, like putting kickboxing fights, putting jiu-jitsu and MMA fights in one card, do you believe that it could, have success? Because they are making the
You
US debut this
you gotta
Friday.
have better fights. You gotta have better fights. You gotta have better. It's got to be better, and it isn't, and that's the problem. Yeah, I think it's cool to do that, but I don't know because remember, 85% of the revenue is casuals, right? So the shit that I like is actually not very profitable, right? So yeah, I think that's fucking cool. I think hell yeah, let's have a smorgasbord. Let's have a all you can eat buffet of combat sports. Just make them all good fights, and you know, I think that stuff's cool.
They did sell out though in the US. I think it's sold out, so
Yeah,
they're doing
cool.
something. Yeah.
And the thing is, though, it it's not about what I like. It's not about what the hardcore fans like. It's not about it's about what the casuals.
Yeah, what they like
You
the
know,
casual
Yeah,
like.
that's true. There's more casuals than May fans.
85% of the revenue is casual viewing, and so you know, there's name recognition and spectacular violence. So I think the risk with that is that people aren't going to understand the rule changes between kickboxing and MMA, and well, wait, why are they doing this? And I hate MMA in a ring. I hate that. So
Really?
I hate MMA in a ring.
Oh, I love MMA.
Why is
That's
that?
the only reason why I watch Ryzen.
Yeah,
That's the reason why.
Because it's in a ring. It's so cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like it.
I hate when the referee breaks it because you're touching the it's like, man, just fucking put him in a cage. Do it right. Yeah, it's so I don't know. It's really annoying. Um, it does favor the strikers though, being in a ring.
Yeah.
Yeah, which makes it better if you ask me, because
Mhm.
striking's more fun,
knockouts. Yeah.
more knockouts, and striking's more fun to watch than ground fighting. So
Yeah. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Man, we'll see how
what
this goes on.
is Ryzen still? Is that still a thing?
Yes.
That hasn't. Okay.
I'm surprised that it still is.
No, it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
They do their events.
Are they? They have a lineage, right, of Yakuza. Didn't they? They used to be before it was Ryzen. What was it? It was
It was Dream.
Dream, and before
And
that it
then
was
Pride.
Rings, right? Pride, then
Oh,
Ring.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So it's a hot mess. But I don't know. I thought it got shut down, but it's still
No, it's
going.
still
You
going.
saying so?
Yeah.
Okay.
They just did their Belter card. The Belter versus Ryzen. Like
Oh,
in January. Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know. I wish I wish there were more talented fighters and better promotions. But
I mean, don't get me wrong.
we're not there yet,
I
which
mean,
is crazy.
one thing I do believe that Ryzen does better than
Yep.
UFC is the entertainment. I mean,
Yeah.
the entrances.
Well,
the,
that's the Japanese way, right? Like,
yeah.
man, yeah. Some really, and see, that's the thing. Like, I think what I would like to see is a promotion, kind of like one where they've got the financial backing.
Yeah.
But what I'd like to see is like them really develop the fighter camps and help them out financially from the ground up. So then you're developing talented fighters and giving them a chance to get good, right? Because right now the way everything is structured, you're just exploiting fighters from day one. And as amateurs, you're automatically upside down financially, and then early pros, you're upside down, and then you finally, by the time you're actually making some money, you're just willing to take any shitty deal that's handed to you. But that's why we don't have more talent. That's why we don't have better fights. That's why we don't have better promotions. Is because it's such a bad business structure, and it's so exploitative that only the cream of the crop that are so naturally gifted and have, just the planets aligned and the luck of the draw, and then they all get sucked up and pulled over by the monopolized by the
Yeah,
UFC,
that's true.
and then everyone else gets to fight over the leftovers.
Right? Yeah. And there's just so much now. I mean, you think about, like you said, PFL, there's Bellator 1. That's not even counting bare knuckle or karate combat or like all these promotions. There's so many. What are your thoughts on the Connor going doing that bare knuckle?
I didn't see it. I just kind of heard about it.
Bare knuckle, in my opinion, I mean, like, yeah,
well, he
like,
can't do it anyway.
We may never see it, right? We may never. That will never happen. Connor going to bare knuckle, right? But the fact
You're
that
saying he
just
can't
made
do
an
it because of
the UFC. But the fact that he was there with a belt, he's in a ring, dude.
As
like,
long as Uncle
won.
Dana is involved in the contract making, like he couldn't do boxing either. He was under contract when he did that with Floyd.
But I'm surprised
Right?
that they didn't shit on him for that, though. For him to go in there with the title, he's in the ring. I'm surprised they did not piss at him because.
No, I don't think so because it's all marketing value. I mean, we all know what's going on. I mean,
but it more favors for bare knuckle because he got Conor McGregor in the ring. Got him in bare knuckle.
But it's a scratching your back,
that's
scratch
like
yours.
John
It's
Cena
exposure.
going to AEW,
It's exposure, and the UFC is happy to get any exposure.
Yeah.
God, I'm gonna sound like fucking grandpa, but back in my day, bare knuckle meant bare knuckle. It didn't mean that you got to wear that you were allowed to wear a fucking. It's a goddamn cast.
Yeah.
Like holy fucking shit! It's not even just like it's not like gauze and tape like we do under the gloves in boxing. It's thick ass fucking tape. Casting.
Oh, but did you see freaking Rockhold's teeth? Oh my god!
Yeah, I mean, bro.
God!
My whole career was bare knuckle. I understand the reality of it.
Did you see that?
I saw the picture.
Oh,
I saw the way he quit because, God, has anyone had a root canal?
Mm-hmm.
You ever have a root canal? Yes, no, yes, okay, right. Instantly, fucking. Rockhold had 2 major root canals. Boom, no anesthesia at all, and it's just throbbing. Like dental pain is incredibly painful, and most people that are listening to us now can relate, right? Because you've had that fucking the Novocaine wear off, and
shit is. Oh.
He had 2 teeth snapped in half without any fucking Novocaine or anesthetic or anything. And it got a professional fighter. I'm not a Rockhold fan in any way. And I whatever, but still he's tough enough to have done very well in the UFC. And he quit like a little bitch because he did. Because that fucking pain, bro, having your teeth snapped fucking hurts. And it hurts and it doesn't stop hurting. There's some injuries where you get hit, bam, you get cut open. It hurts for a second, but then it stops, right? Yeah. You get broken rib. It hurts and then it stops, and then you sneeze or laugh or twist the wrong way. It hurts. But when you fucking break your teeth, it just hurts, and then it hurts some more, and then it starts throbbing, and then it hurts.
Oh my goodness! Oh yeah! I hate root canal.
But I think bare knuckle's cool. I am happy that it's getting a following.
Shout out to David Diaz, by the way. That's right. We had him on the show.
And I kind of like the trend of. I like the way where they have a bunch of unknowns and nobody's just getting in there and fucking throwing down, that's cool. And then
Like
they
the
have their
ECW
own.
of MMA.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. Then they build up guys that are of their brand that do very well and have their own little following. And then they bring in the MMA guys that are ready to cash out their final career and whatever notoriety they have. I think that's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool. It's kind of like, it's like a wild, wild west sort of business model of like, let's, and I don't know, the fans are my kind of people.
I love it. All right. Well, there you have it. I mean, there's not much to talk about. I mean, unless you guys want to have something in mind for the prelims or early prelims. There's only 3 fights in the prelims. Early prelims is 1, 2. Well, hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4. Four.
I don't even know
prelims.
who's on the prelims.
3, 4, 5 in the early prelims. Daniel Santos, Johnny Munoz, Joseph Holmes versus Claudio Ribeiro, Rafael Esteva versus Zaglas Zumagov, Phil Haas versus Ikram Ali. I can't even pronounce that. It's a Russian guy.
Yeah.
Braxton Smith, Parker Porter, Marina Rodriguez, and Verna Chandriroba. Brazilian chick, I think okay. Chaos Williams, Rolando Bedoya, and Kennedy Neshkov, Devin Clark, and then Drew Dober versus Matt Frabola. That's the main event. So nothing much really there, right?
Yeah. Now I don't think it's worth talking about. It's getting a little late.
Yep, that's right. Exactly. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate you guys for tuning in here. We'll be back next week here to recap the UFC 288. Don't forget, it's this Saturday pay-per-view. And make sure you tune in because we will be definitely watching that fight. And man, can't wait to see the aftermath. And I want to see if Coach rates all his stuff is right. I'm gonna keep an eye on that, so that's for sure. I will definitely keep an eye on that. And while you at it, ladies and gentlemen, do not forget, if you want to get your bet slips on for this upcoming fight, it's coming up. So get it, go on it now. If you want some more, analysis, then we got it for you. You go to the bloodlinenetwork.com. You go there and get the analysis. Basically, put up the best slips. It's already there. So make sure you go to bloodlinenetwork.com to get all that information for you guys. And like I said, I mean, just go there. Obviously, of course, besides MMA and besides pro wrestling, there's also articles of baseball, football, fantasy football. Make sure you tune in. Go to the bloodlinenetwork.com. And that's right, ladies and gentlemen. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, the host team is One IBC, and of course, Mata's in pain right here. Alex Mata is the 5-time champ, and he's back in action too. Follow him on Instagram. Tell him where to follow you, man, so they can see you in action. Back in in your Muay Thai fighter. Let the people know where can they find you, man. Like, come on, your personal one, not the championship.
Wait, you want my personal?
Give me your personal so they can follow, so they can see you fight, man.
Come on, man. I don't need fighters spying on my videotapes, man.
All right. Okay. Fine. Don't forget, follow Championship on the Line podcast. Follow them. Right now, take a little brief hiatus, right? Until further notice. You guys will come back and let us know.
Yeah, we got some things coming up. So, just stay tuned. And, we got some things lined up.
I'm excited for that. I'm stoked for that. And, of course, you got to follow the man here. Ire, baby, the one-man round right here. Follow him. It's also right below the description of all the socials and the YouTube, of course, for both of my hermanos here. So shout out to everybody in the audio platforms. Brazil, thank you for keeping us going. You guys are always the number one. Thank you, because I see the analytics. They love us up there in Brazil. Thank you guys for keeping us up there. We'll continue doing this for you guys. That is for sure. So once again, we will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.